Hi, we are live. It's the deadline day edition of the Premier League Preview Show. And you see, the gods put everything in order. Today, Wednesday, January 31st. We've got a super game later tonight. And it's deadline day for the January transfer window. You couldn't have scripted this any better. And that's why we are here. We'll be doing some football. We'll talk transfers later tonight at 10 p.m. No, at 8 p.m. Join us. We'll be doing Spurs versus Man United. And then we'll be discussing Don't Call Me. We'll be raising the bell. Benjamin Nketsia will be ringing that bell on all the moves that will happen between now and 11 p.m. Ghana time. My name is Nathan Quao. That's how we welcome you to today's edition of the Premier League Preview Show. There are pressing matters to discuss on the pitch, as well as important business to deal with in terms of the fax machines, emails, agents, managers, and players, the whole shebang. My name is Nathan Quao. The Preview Show is proudly brought to you by Betway and Premium Bank and proudly supported by Vodafone. Benjamin Nketsia, I said, Ben, nice to have you here.
Yep, deadline day. I wish I could have brought the bell along with me.
The bell?
Yeah,
we'll yank out the bell later.
Just ring it every now and then, just to get people in the mood.
We should have our own Premier League Preview Show bell.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that in a bit though. But let's just take a short break. When we come back, we'll unpack the issues because there are pressing matters to deal with. Arsenal, Swansea have their own business to sort out. We'll talk about the magic that may happen tonight at Wembley. And of course, everything in between when it comes to player transfers. Don't go anywhere. We just turned on. We just went live. Stay tuned. We are back after a quick turnaround. Welcome back from that short break, and we are live. Like I said, Benjamin Nketsia is my wingman. Ben, today is a special edition. Today we have extended time.
Yep.
We have more time.
Let me sit properly in my chair.
Let's start off with last night's Premier League games. We'll get into the Don't Call Me part in the second part of the show. But let's start off. And Arsenal, very odd way to end the month of January. They lost 3-1 to Swansea City last night. That performance lacked fight. I've heard a lot of Arsenal fans tearing the team apart for not showing up, especially Peter Cech for the woeful thing that led to Jordan Ayew scoring. But what did you make of the display from last night at Swansea?
Well, I mean, for those who follow their Premier League, I think you will also be able to draw the pattern that says that over the last 2 seasons, Swansea have actually always earned a win against Arsenal, be it at the Emirates or be it on the Liberty ground. So this might have come as a shock because, I mean, Swansea are playing as badly as you possibly could in the Premier League. But again, record also shows that Swansea are a boogie side for Arsenal. So for those who know their records, this might have come as a surprise in some regards, but in some other regards as well, this was pretty routine, at least according to what we were used to from previous seasons. So I would say that Arsenal definitely do have some work to do. Now, the first bit of Arsenal's rebuild or reworking situation that I think they should consider is Peter Cech. Look, all due respect to Peter Cech, I think he's a legend. I think he's paid his dues to the game, but I think he doesn't have it anymore to be a starting goalkeeper. I mean, any Arsenal fan out there, any football fan out there who doesn't agree with me, that's fine. But I'm saying, look, if you've been watching Peter Cech over the course of last season and over the course of this season, guess what? When he was coming in, we had both. And that's what really stuck with me. Has he been a difference maker for Arsenal? No. Has he had the best of defensive covers? No. You cannot lay all the blame at his doorstep. But the truth of the matter is that I firmly believe that David Ospina is a better goalkeeper than Peter Cech.
There are many people who disagree because Arsenal fans seem to complain if it's Ospina, they don't get any better if it's Cech. Should Arsenal, I mean, after doing the business, yes, the transfer window will close a little later. But should they start thinking of getting a replacement for Cech ahead of next season?
David Ospina is a replacement for Cech. I know plenty of people might look at me like I'm absurd, but I'm telling you, David Ospina is every bit a starting caliber goalkeeper for Arsenal.
Okay.
Mignolet and Karius are starting for Liverpool. David Ospina is every bit a starting caliber goalkeeper. And why do I say this again? Has he ever been given a genuine run to prove what he can do? Has he ever been given 10 games where he's been terrible, and he's had to be thrown in the back? No. He's only been brought in stopgap situations, rest for Peter Cech or minor injuries for Peter Cech, and then he's thrown in 2-3 games. It's never enough time to get a goalkeeper to get back to his regular confidence and to his regular rhythm. If you watch him for his national team, he is every bit a star player for that particular team. So for me, if Arsenal are going to look to replace Peter Cech, you don't look to buy in any players. You look to promoting the person who is in there, because Peter Cech really, for me, doesn't have it anymore. So
Peter Cech not getting good reviews. Just to stay on that game, let's talk a bit about Swansea. And under Carlos Carvalhal, they look different. They look stronger. They look better. They look slicker, more organized. And they are even daring to play. And last night, they dared Arsenal and went at them 3 times and found 3 goals and took 3 points.
Well, the truth of the matter is that I don't think that Swansea's problems have gone away. I basically feel as if they met a team that were all over the place with regards to their focus and their confidence. So for Arsenal, it was a poor performance. It's not as if Swansea were out of this world.
Okay.
I watched Swansea against Liverpool again, and they showed elements of good defending. But
in that game, I think that they were very fortunate.
Exactly my point.
They were very, very fortunate.
They've not been the sort of team that have shown performances that will lead me to say, aha, Carvajal. No. I think that it's still the new manager's enthusiasm they are still riding on. I think it will die at a point. But for now, they need to ride the wave. Again, I feel as if they just don't have enough quality to be contended with. Sam Klukas is coming around for them, and I think that's wonderful. He was wonderful with Hull City in their lead up to the Premier League. They fell out of the Premier League. He stayed on. And
Jordan is getting some. Is bringing in some good moments.
He is, and I'm happy for him generally, because he's not necessarily exerting as much effort. He's just getting in good positions. And I've always said this: look, you could be a striker who will be criticized for not working hard, blah 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 blah. You could be working hard and not scoring goals, and the critics will come for you again. So for Jordan, I think he's working smarter now, getting in good positions, assisting his teammates, and doing the little things that matter. So I mean, yesterday he might barely have contributed meaningfully to the game, but when it mattered that he needed to be in the right spot to give his team a cushion, he was there, and that's really what matters.
So Arsenal losing 3-1. The Henrik Mkhitaryan made his league debut for the Gunners. It didn't go too well. It ended 3-0 to Liverpool. They beat Huddersfield 1-1 between West Ham and Crystal Palace. Mark Noble getting his 50th goal for West Ham, a team he supports, and that's the team he plays for. I'm sure he must have been delighted with that. Ben, tonight we've got a showstopper on our hands at Wembley. Tottenham Hotspur welcome Manchester United, and it looks like Alexis Sanchez will make his league debut for Man United. And it's against Spurs, a team he's usually had good games against. He scored against them as an Arsenal player a few months ago in the first leg. Now he gets to play against them again at Wembley. This should be a very fascinating game.
It should be. It should be. It has the makings of a, I would say, maybe an FA Cup final in some respects, you know, and it's at Wembley as well. But for Alexis, if you watch that game against Yeovil Town, it just gave you a sense of what's to come. He didn't necessarily blow anybody out of the water with his performance, but it was typical Alexis. Extremely busy, holding up play, looking to set up play, looking to get in dangerous positions every now and then. This would be the sort of game that he would truly relish. I got the sense that he was a little disappointed that, I mean, regardless of how little that first game was, he sort of wanted a goal to spice up the occasion and to spice up his debut. But I mean, what better chance or what better time to do it against formidable opposition like Tottenham Hotspur? And for me, I'm curious to see a lot more also of what Mourinho will do with him with regards to positioning and his role in some of these type of matches. So I'm eager to see where United stick Alexis today. I'm eager to see how they get on with their football in the heat of all the transfer madness going on around them. Tottenham Hotspur themselves are, I mean, in their own business. Lucas Moura apparently is finalizing his deal and will be joining Tottenham. And I'm happy. Why? Because I've always felt as if Spurs have always lacked natural width. I mean, when it has to come to stretching the play, they've always stuck attacking midfielders out on the wing or central midfielders out on the wing.
They've relied a lot on fullbacks.
Wing backs and fullbacks to do the work for them. I always feel as if when you have players who can function better in their natural setting and their natural habitat, it's always better. And Lucas Moura, for him there's a lot to prove. Look, I can even say that he's wasted close to 4 years of his career playing for Paris Saint-Germain. Let's be honest, he has wasted 4 years of his career because he's not made enough appearances to warrant a claim in anybody's national team, if we are going to be very honest about it. He's not even done enough. In fact, he should count himself very lucky that he still attracts glances from teams like Tottenham Hotspur, because he's played so little football that you cannot even tell what sort of quality to expect from him as a player anymore.
But is he going to be a guaranteed starter for Spurs? And if he does, what does that mean for this team? Because clearly some shake-up, a shake-up of a sort, will have to be done. If he's going to play wide right, somebody would have to take the hit.
Well, if he's going to be a guaranteed starter for Spurs, will depend on he himself. I mean, first of all, we know the issues South American players have with adjusting to the English game or to Europe in general. I mean, it will help that he's just crossing the English channel to come over to the other side, but he will have to adjust. The game styles are different. He'll have to work hard. And you know that Mauricio Pochettino doesn't necessarily hand out candy to players. You have to earn your spot in his team. So, like I'm saying, they already play a very different style of football where wingers are not necessarily a part. So you have to impress on the coach why he should insert a winger into his system. As simple as that. He will need to show in training sessions what he can bring to the table when it's all said and done. And I always have felt that for players like Lucas Moura, aside playing the system role of a winger, individual quality is what has always endeared players like him, Neymar, Coutinho and co to the European market. Minus your individual quality,
they can do things on their own.
Minus the individual quality, there are lots of players in Europe who can do exactly what you can do. So, I mean, when the going gets tough for Tottenham, 0-0 game, give the ball to Lucas Moura, what is he capable of doing? I mean, these are the things that he will be asking himself if he's to break into that Tottenham team. But I still have always felt that he's a good player. He has so much to prove because he's played so little football. But let's see how it goes.
We'll see. That's a huge call for Spurs. It's unlikely that he will play tonight. It looks like he may get his debut over the weekend. So Lucas Moura getting in for Spurs. Spurs themselves will play against United. That's a fascinating one. Alexis Sanchez, we'll see how he fares. Can Spurs get a good win at Wembley? They've beaten Liverpool already hugely at Wembley. Can they get one past Man United? United are on this good run. Jose Mourinho talks about the vibe in the camp being good because they've won games in the new year. This will be a big test for Man United as well as Spurs.
Very big test.
Huge one.
I'm basically looking to see how Mourinho will approach this game again. Also, again, based on the acquisition of Alexis Sanchez. Do you still approach matches with a very defensive mindset, with a very negative mindset, in the words of others? Or now that you have an attack that looks like they should be feared by opposing defenses, you will actually go out there and be adventurous, play attack-minded football? Look, let's be honest, like I always say this, United at now will settle for a trophy or a Premier League trophy regardless of how dirty it comes, because there has been a drought for that long. But once the trophy comes and the team gets back to the mindset of we are a winning club,
then the football
they will start asking you problems about why is our football this way? Why have you purchased players for 70 million, 60 million and still playing football like the likes of Burnley and teams that don't have money to purchase players? So for now, grinding our results will be what is important. But again, I'm very, very eager to see how Mourinho approaches this game and how he employs Sanchez. But I feel as if a match of this nature will be decided either on early individual errors or by individual brilliance.
We'll see how that one goes. 8 p.m. join us right here on City 97.3 for that kickoff between Spurs and United. There's another interesting tie between Everton and Leicester. That's a very fascinating one. Teams who are just around the same place. Leicester have been going on this good run. Everton have wobbled from 2017, the last part, into 2018. They've lost James McArthur, who broke his leg the other day. It should be good. And for Leicester, I'm sure things are happening around them. Leonardo Yo has gone to Brighton. Islam Slimani looks like he's gone to Newcastle. Riyad Mahrez is the subject of a big bit. Do you think their heads will be turned by that? And on this trip to the Goodison, do you think they could get done by an Everton team who have acquired Theo Walcott but have let Aaron Lennon go to Burnley?
It's interesting because if I look at what Everton are doing, I think that they are sort of a middle of the pack team right now. They are still sort of figuring themselves out since Sam Allardyce took over. It's not been good. It's not been horrible. It's just been figuring out. That's what's been going on with them so far. And they are still trying to fine-tune the system that he plays. He's still trying to fit guys like Tosun in the mix, Theo Walcott in the mix. So today I expect nothing but a pragmatic Everton performance. On the other hand, if I look at Leicester City, I think they are letting too much quality go. And amidst letting too much quality go, there's always the transfer distraction. For instance, it will be a big decision today on whether Mahrez gets to play or gets to set out because it's deadline day and he has handed in a transfer request.
Yes.
So he's bent on making a move to Manchester City. But from how I see it and from the kind of price tag that has been slapped on him, he's not going anywhere. I think that he's going to endure another torrid deadline day, and that might just as well seep into the football. But they are teams of equal measure. I look at them and I think that minus all the distractions going around, Leicester City should have just enough quality to see off an Everton side that are also sort of figuring themselves out. For Leicester City, they look like they are operating on the blueprints that have been left by the previous coaches, so not a lot has changed. The stability is the same, and you know what you are getting from a guy like Jamie Vardy. The only problem now is that Mahrez has been the one who's been involved in just
I mean he got into a good patch of form.
If you look at the last 10 goals they've scored as a team, he's had a hand in at least 50%, either scoring or assisting. So whether he gets to play in this game due to his transfer woes or sits out, I think will have a telling impact on the game. If he plays, and he plays with a full Riyad Mahrez mindset, my head is here, my heart is here, I want to play, Leicester win. If they don't, or if it doesn't, I think that this game either heads for a draw or Everton pip Leicester.
We'll see. So that's that game between Everton and Leicester. Chelsea face Bournemouth at Stamford, but Chelsea have brought in Emerson Palmieri. It doesn't look like he'll be dislodging Marcos Alonso for that left back spot, so I'm sure he'll come in as backup there. We'll discuss Chelsea in a few moments. Man City at home to West Brom, Newcastle take on Burnley, Southampton face Brighton and Hove. So many games last night, so many games tonight. We'll bring you all of them on City 97.3. The star game, of course, between Spurs and Man United at Wembley at 8 p.m. Let me go through some of the comments before we take a break and then prepare to dive into the world of player transfers. Rock Nana Brimpon says, best regards to Fento Tahiro. Okay, Fento is somewhere in the back. FBK Benny says, finally here. Yes, we are here. Abdullah Tank Abubakar is watching us from Italy. Which part of Italy? Let us know. Boating Esiama Ben, you remember he's back from Vietnam.
Oh, the veteran.
Yeah, the Vietnam guy. Wow, what's happening in Vietnam? K.M. Ponsem is hoping for a sensational game between United and Spurs. Kofi and Chibu Esiako is watching us from Washington. Okay, says Hotspurs are going to go after United. Nicholas Dada is watching us from Ridge in Accra. It says Alexis will surely score tonight. Amani Muntalatanko is a regular viewer. He's also watching us. All right, thanks for your comments. Send them coming. We're about to do some transfer talk, but we'll just take a short break. If we can, do a quick turnaround. When we come back, it's Don't Call Me Time, at least for 30 minutes. The full package happens later tonight between 10 and midnight. Don't go anywhere. We'll just take a short break. When we come back, we do a little transfer talk as of what we know, as of now, depending on the deals we have on our hands. We'll discuss that briefly. Take your comments, wrap the show up, and later tonight we'll discuss more. So don't go anywhere. We are back shortly.
the 4-4-2 diamond formation for that early lead.
An early goal will settle the nerves.
The away team has been in bad form. They will feel the pressure.
The home side's kept 2 clean sheets in a row.
It's all about momentum.
Who will have the stamina to last the 90 minutes?
The star striker is suspended.
They've got no kappa.
The marking will be tight.
This will be won or lost in the midfield.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet. Betway, for the love of the game.
Namaste.
Hell's down heaven now, living in the same town, trying to find something new. Hello. This ain't right, it's no good, no good.
Hey.
Hello, welcome.
Hello. Jump.
Going through the same things.
Hello.
We unite. We defy. We hope. We dream. We play. We are fire in our hearts. We are made of black.
Hi there, you're welcome back to the Premier League Preview Show. We are heading into the final half an hour. I know that sounds odd, but that's the kind of goodness you get from City 97.3. On special days, we do special things. And even when it's not a special day, we do special things. So you get what I mean. It's all special love all throughout the year. But let's just wrap it up with the football on the pitch. We've got some fascinating games this weekend.
Yep.
Burnley take on Man City. That's the first game of the weekend at 12:30 at Turf Moor. And we do know Burnley at Turf Moor is a very difficult proposition.
That's a draw for me. That's a draw for me. Man City have gone through a few.
There's no Leroy Sané, at least for the next 7 weeks.
Injured Leroy Sané. They are ushering in a defender. It looks like they want to bring in another player. I don't get it really, because I think that they have one of the deepest teams in the Premier League. I don't see why at the sign of injury they want to bolt to spend millions on other players. But I mean, what do I know? Pep Guardiola says that he needs reinforcement. He says he needs more players if he's to contest for a quadruple. But I think that this is one of the difficult encounters for his team. Leroy Sané, he's been key to Manchester City every time they've had a difficult encounter. Individual brilliance. I always talk about it, and he always brings it out. But I think that Burnley will have a lot to say, especially since they've been on some sort of a slide in the past couple of days. They will want to get a draw just to prove a point. I mean, if Crystal Palace could hold Man City to a draw, Burnley can hold Man City to a draw.
Burnley almost got a point of Man United the other weekend. They took Anthony Martial's goal in the second half. So, as Benjamin is saying, it is a very complex proposition to play against Burnley. Very solid. And this time, Burnley are not even afraid to come out and play. Sometimes, even when they get the ball, they seem to move with a lot of ingenuity. It's not flashy stuff,
they're just a
but
team,
it's discipline.
They're just a team that seem to be on the same page at all levels. On the pitch,
I think they're the most improved
on the management
team
level
from last season, if you ask me.
They are. And
I think they're the most improved team.
and
Sean Dyche is in line to be manager of the season. We'll talk about Pep Guardiola, yes, but Sean Dyche needs some good mentions.
The EPL's longest serving manager, at least according to the managers who have been with their teams the longest, if you take away Arsene Wenger, he's been one of the longest serving for his team, and they've repaid his hard work by handing him a new deal. So I mean, for Burnley, like I'm saying, they never do the flashy stuff. Basics, execute on the pitch, let's get the results and let's get it going. But I think that again, they have what it takes to put the pegs on Man City.
We'll see. That's our first game on Saturday, February 3, Burnley versus Man City. That's at 12:30. Jordan Ayew, Swansea travel to Leicester. So Jordan Ayew's team, Swansea, they've been trying to do some good things, and after beating Arsenal, they want to continue. United host Huddersfield, West Brom face Southampton, Arsenal take on Everton. Then that's a game at 5:30. That should be a good one. But some analysis Everton, and I'm sure we'll see them in action tonight. They've been struggling. So you think Arsenal, maybe that could be Aubameyang's debut?
Arsenal will want to win that game for a lot of reasons. Again, they'll be parading all their new signings.
Mkhitaryan.
He's already. I mean, let's not count the Swansea game. This will be his proper game. They'll be parading their new stars, and if anything, if the Ozil news is anything to go by, that feels like a new signing for me, because to me, I felt as if he was nearing the exit for Arsenal. So for him to have agreed to sign a new deal, it will be great. I mean, the atmosphere provides everything Arsenal need to go into a team or into a game like this and subdue a team that are considerably not better than them.
Okay.
So this should be one of those games where I expect the Gunners to come out and not just win, but actually dominate the encounter. So for Arsenal, they have to go out there. I'm not even going to spend a lot of time dilly-dallying about Everton's options, because I think that all things being equal, Everton should not have a chance in that game. The morale should be high. Arsenal should have enough to play for to be able to see out that game.
Remember, that particular game last season was like the cup final for 4th place. Arsenal won, but eventually they got pipped because Liverpool won their game and moved on to play in the Champions League. The other important game, and probably the most important game of the weekend, Ben, is happening at Anfield. It's Liverpool versus Spurs. Two teams who love open attacking football.
Yeah.
We saw Liverpool destroy Manchester City to a point, but that game ended 4-3. I'm sure they will look at Spurs and tell Spurs that, well, you guys don't love to play defensive football, so it's all well and good for our high intense attacking game.
Plus you beat us in the first round, so there's every reason to want to beat you right now, and they can take a cue from Manchester City. They should know what's coming. Liverpool will be pumped. They will run, they will intercept, they will close down, they will suffocate every bit of space that Tottenham have to work with. And for Tottenham, that game will depend largely on how much they are able to hold on to the ball when they are able to win it, because I don't think that they will have a lot of time to spend on the ball in that encounter. So when you get the ball, who is the hold-up player for you? How quickly do you move the ball up the field? Because like I'm saying, Liverpool will be closing down at an amazing rate, and if you do go down, Liverpool do have a thing for scoring early goals in matches where they usually go on to win. If you go down by an early goal and you don't get your house in order, it could be raining for the rest of the 90 minutes. So for Tottenham, they know what to do. Keep it tight. Try to play disciplined defense. They have very good defenders. I think that individually, they probably might have the best defenders in the Premier League. But I mean,
as a
sometimes,
unit, sometimes
in the absence
of
disappoint. I think it's in the absence of Alderweireld. He doesn't seem like the talkative, but he does seem like the guy who gives them confidence to play properly when he's around. I used to feel that way about Jan Vertonghen, but it seems to me as if Alderweireld really is the boss in that midfield, in that defense.
Some people argue that Vertonghen even plays better when Alderweireld is playing next to him.
That's very true. That's very true. So, well, Davinson Sanchez has not been bad. I think he's definitely been one of the signings of the season, but will he be able to navigate an encounter like this over attackers who are possibly the best he will come up against this season, if you take away maybe the Manchester City lot? Will he be up to it? Will they be up to it? Will they be able to react to Liverpool's tactics? Generally speaking, I think that Spurs will do themselves in that game by being adventurous. I don't know Mauricio Pochettino to ever set out to play defensively and on the counter. I mean, the least he will do is to try a mid-tempo game where he tries to balance attack and defense, but I mean, that uncertainty could undo you in the first place. So they need to make up their mind whether this is going to be a park the bus and counter-attacking game, because honestly speaking, when you park the bus, Liverpool don't know how to play. When teams,
Liverpool know one way to play.
When teams decide that,
not breaking down
when teams decide that they won't cross the center circle, Liverpool always have difficulties getting around them. And when the first half ends and Liverpool don't have an advantage, you see them getting nervy, missing chances, little things. So for Tottenham, their best chance in that encounter will be to get an early goal and to force Liverpool to play to their tune. If Liverpool gets an early goal in that game, it's over.
We'll see. Harry Kane travelling to take on Mohamed Salah, two of the most informed sharpshooters in the Premier League, on Sunday at 4:30. Let me go through a few of the comments that have come in. I'm sure people are sending us thoughts. Kingdom Ajay is watching us from the Bronx. From the Bronx. Yeah, that's what we are talking about.
I remember him from last week.
Yeah, he sent us another message. Lukman Nikwajamus, he says, United for the 3 points. James Richmond Abe says, so Liverpool won't sign any player. Arsenal is signing players. Klopp and FSG must get serious. Well, they signed Virgil van Dijk.
Football fans will never be satisfied.
Anyway,
never.
talking about signing players there, but let's move on. Inshira Kwachi Isaac is watching us from North Industrial Area. Okay, how are you? Hope you are fine. Tune in, get your friends to watch. Let's talk about the deals that have been done as of now, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been confirmed. That's a. How should we look at that sign? That's a good signing. I mean, it's good, is it not?
It's
Arsenal
it's a good signing.
now have Nketsia and Lacazette, Aubameyang and Ozil signed a 3-year extension. For Arsenal fans, if you don't know, Mesut Ozil is staying at the club for 3 more years up until 2021. Signed the extension earlier today at Arsenal's training ground. So that puts an end effectively to all the talk, all the drama. Is he going? Is he staying? What's going on?
Yeah. Is it a good signing? It's a great signing. It's a great signing. He's a proven goal scorer. But again,
41 goals for Dortmund.
Yeah, he's a great scorer, but again, he's a very, very wasteful striker. That's the first thing. I need to let Arsenal fans know that they will be in for a couple of heart-in-mouth moments because Aubameyang will waste a fair deal of your chances. Lacazette has been doing his own fair share of that. So I'm more of looking again at how Arsene Wenger is going to vary his tactics to accommodate Lacazette, Ozil, Mkhitaryan, and Aubameyang in the same starting lineup. That should be very interesting. Do they go 2 top? Does Aubameyang play on the wings while Lacazette plays the central role? Does Lacazette play the wings while Aubameyang plays the central role?
Those are very, very critical questions.
And that's exactly how it will pan out. But for me, again, I felt as if Arsenal would have been better spending their money on a defensive midfielder and a centre-back instead of a striker. Misplaced priorities, it does look like that to me. Because
I mean, the accusation against Lacazette is that he's not scoring enough.
Well, in the games where Arsenal have not scored enough, you barely ever watch an Arsenal game where scoring enough is not as a result of not creating enough chances. It's barely ever the case. It's because in those games they are wasteful, purely wasteful.
Okay.
And when you have matches where Arsenal are creating chances, there's a very high chance that one of those balls will end up in the back of the net. But well, Aubameyang, he's in now. Like I'm saying, he's a striker. He can play as a winger. Where will he play? Is it a good signing? It's a fantastic signing for me. Arsenal have not only gone out to buy a proven goal scorer, but this is also a sign of intent. I mean, a lot of the times, fans come at Arsene Wenger and say all sort of things like, he doesn't care about the club.
He doesn't show enough ambition.
These are some of the things. He definitely does care about the club, but he cannot run the club the way fans think he should run the club. That's the honest truth. He can't run the club the way fans think he should run the club. But the truth of the matter is that now they cried out for a big name signing. He's practically done some of the best business in this January transfer window.
Getting Mkhitaryan and
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
It's good business.
It's fantastic business, if you ask me. So now they need to get on the pitch. They need to mesh together as a unit and produce.
Let's talk about the potential exit of Olivier Giroud. How detrimental will that be to Arsenal? Because I for the life of me, I don't get why Arsenal want to ship him out.
They don't want to ship him out.
Especially to Chelsea.
The transfer situation has prompted it. They don't. If they had their own way, they'll still keep Olivier Giroud. But again, they don't have their own way, such that you are giving Mesut Ozil a 350,000 contract. You are giving Mkhitaryan a lot of money as well. Your wage books
won't come in for cheap.
Exactly my point. Your wage books need to balance out. Somebody needs to go, and you know, Arsene Wenger, he's always going to pay attention to the mathematics and the economics as well. But for Olivier Giroud as well, I get the sense that some bit of him has pushed this deal through because of his World Cup ambitions. He wants to go to a team that will give him a shot more than 10, 15 minutes a game. And if Chelsea do get this move to happen, or wherever he lands, you're getting a good player. This is a player who is guaranteed Arsenal over 10 goals off the bench in the last couple of seasons or so.
Does he, sorry to cut you, does he go onto the Chelsea bench, or he goes into the team? How should Antonio Conte even handle Olivier Giroud? Should he put he and Morata together and say, look, the two of you go out there and the winner takes the slot?
That would be interesting. Olivier Giroud, Morata in the same lineup is a no-no for me. It will definitely not work well with regards to player movement and wingers trying to incorporate their game into each other. It will make more sense if you either decide on which one to go with. So now Morata is off color. Do you throw in Olivier Giroud to wake Morata up and say that, look, this is how competitive the game of football is. If you don't wake up, somebody's going to take your spot regardless of how much money you came in for and how much we are paying you? Or do you also tell Olivier Giroud that, big fella, I'm sure you know that you are more of a role player to us than a starter, so your moments will come, but we promise that we will give you quality minutes. It's very delicate, but I think that eventually Olivier Giroud will get games where he will start, but I don't think that Chelsea will eventually start off by benching Morata for Olivier Giroud. That will send some very, very loud alarm bells around Stamford Bridge. And I mean, as good as I think Olivier Giroud is as a striker, I still think that Chelsea should concentrate on Morata and getting the best out of him. So
Ama Morata needs to get some help from Chelsea. He's currently experiencing all kinds of things. It looks like Giroud is going there, which means Michy Batshuayi has been kicked out to Dortmund as a replacement for Aubameyang. That deal that happened earlier today, Michy Batshuayi is going on loan. Clearly Batshuayi will get minutes at Dortmund because they've lost to Aubameyang. They will give him the slot. But I'm sure he has to earn it too, because his reputation for not being quote-unquote a big-time forward will certainly come under a lot of scrutiny. People will judge his antics. People will say he's not delivered. But his minutes-to-goal ratio is not that bad, especially when he's played. So the opportunity for Batshuayi, you'd think.
He should just put the phone away and stay away from Twitter. That's the first thing, the first secret to his success. Just stay off Twitter. Keep the Twitter fingers in your pockets.
But why should he stay away?
Apparently the man was tweeting while he was having the medical. He was on a treadmill and you're saying, I'm about to sign for Dortmund. He was doing his thing. He should just stay away from social media for a bit. But I feel as if Dortmund will be a proper atmosphere for him.
How should Dortmund treat Michy Batshuayi? Should they say that, okay, we don't have Aubameyang, we've brought you in, we are going to start you in games and see how you fare, or they will look at his his track record at Chelsea.
I still think Chelsea are ridiculous for letting Michy Batshuayi in.
I think so too.
And they are making a lot of brain neutral decisions as we speak. a lot of them are happening in sequence. It's almost as if they don't seem to know what they are doing at this point in time as a club. And look, I'm not even going to speak.
How is this happening for a club that used to be very decisive when it came to player transfers?
Change of sporting director. That's it. This is all as a result of Michael Emenalo's exit. This is all happening because of him. There doesn't seem to be any nuance to what they are doing. It just seems to be all over the place. Okay, we need a tall striker. Go for a few days. Make a couple of calls. It doesn't go through. Move on to the next person. Move on to the next person. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think that if I was Batshuayi, I would push to make this loan move permanent. Because I feel he's been disrespected. I feel as if every time he's been given a legitimate shot, he's made it count. I don't think that Chelsea as a team expect that you feed a player 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and he probably should have scored 15 goals in 20 matches. Is that what they're expecting? That's unrealistic. And I think he will be devastating for Dortmund if they give him a chance. Why? Because if you take away the veterans in the Dortmund team, what they are doing now resembles something of a rebuild process, and there are a lot of younger players with his age around that setting. He will feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, nobody will probably be trying to scold him if he tries to tweet a little more, but he will feel a little more comfortable in the setting, and he just appears to me as a very confident striker, regardless of all the transfer talk that's been out. He's handled all of it very well.
Is it that he's been misunderstood?
He's been mistreated, period. He's been
mistreated, not misunderstood.
He's been mistreated and he's been disrespected. I think so.
Okay.
He was bought for big money. You were supposed to trust him. You were supposed to give him a chance to be able to sign. Look, Morata was drawing blanks in every match he played, and yet still Michy was not getting a chance. Yet still Chelsea insisted on playing wingers and false nines in his position. For me, that's gross disrespect. Give the player a 5-game run. Give him a 6-game run. Guys have given players 10, 15-game runs and they've not scored and they're still playing. Lacazette suffered a woeful spell. Lukaku had the same sort of spell. They've all gone through it. Harry Kane had his own spell in the August season. Why is Michy not being given a legit chance? If you look at the guy, he has it all. Strength, agility, positioning. He has it all. I just don't know what Chelsea wants from the man. I don't know what they want.
Michy Batshuayi fans, let us know what you want from Michy Batshuayi. Blessed Tila one is saying the Liverpool game is at home, so he's not bothered. Wilson Wallace says he's enjoying the show. Thank you very much. Luke Manikwajan says Ben spoke my mind on Batshuayi. Chum Darko says great move for Mahrez, but I think Arsenal made a mistake selling Sanchez, but they have compensated that error with the signing of Aubameyang. Interesting. People are enjoying us. Keep watching. We'll be done in a few minutes though. Let's talk about Riyad Mahrez. I think he's about to make probably the worst decision
of his career. I think that he will be saved from making that decision by Leicester. In the last summer, the man was apparently
now listen, and viewers, for those who don't know, Leicester have rejected a bid of £50 million from Man City for Riyad Mahrez. They say they want more money. Maybe they are doing this to push Manchester City away, but
they want double the money.
They want double
that money.
So close to, I'm talking about close to 100
million.
million. Of course, I'm sure after the Sanchez episode, City will turn their back and walk. But
yeah.
What is Pep Guardiola trying to do?
He's trying to make it a foolproof team, airtight.
Now,
no room
if
for
Leroy
error.
Sané comes in, clearly Mahrez is going to sit on the bench.
He doesn't care about that. He doesn't. He doesn't care about leaving Mahrez on the bench when his other players come. He's just trying to make sure that an injury to one of his most important players this season does not affect the team for the spell that player is.
Do you think Mahrez is a great replacement for Sané?
I think Mahrez is a great replacement for any team in the EPL. I think he has enough quality to walk into any starting line.
Assuming he goes, where should he play? Because we know he loves playing on the right, even though he's left-footed. Sané plays on the left, his natural side.
Yeah.
What shift will happen at City?
Well, he will have to contend with either the right slot or a number 10 slot. I think that the right slot makes more sense for him as an individual.
Where he's playing on his left.
Yeah, because now Manchester City could shift out Raheem Sterling to the left-hand side, where Sterling does also love, and then you could play Mahrez on his right-hand side. But again, this deal for me hinges more on what happens to Mahrez after Sané comes back, because I think it's a stopgap decision. I don't think that Man City would have been looking at Riyad Mahrez if Sané was still healthy. So they need to ask themselves a lot of questions. And like you're saying, I don't know how he's going to manage to push that deal through, because the last time around
yeah,
he was hiding in hotels.
Everybody was looking for Riyad Mahrez, airports, hotels. He was a very difficult man to track.
This time around, he's handed in a transfer request. I'm sure he might try to kidnap himself to get this deal. It's the only way, really, because if a team bids 50 million and your club says that they want 90 million or even 100 million, I really don't see how this deal is going to happen. I don't see how Leicester City or Man City are going to cough over 60 million to get a player just in January when the player does not hold the key to their championship.
We'll see. Riyad Mahrez, subject of an intense bid from Manchester City. Let's end up with Liverpool. Ben, let's talk about Danny Sturridge. He finally exits on loan, albeit. Yeah. He's gone to West Brom. It looks like he will get his minutes there. But after the summer, what should happen to Sturridge?
He should ask Jurgen Klopp for clarity, because I think Jurgen Klopp is behaving.
Should he still be asking for clarity at this moment?
You know what Jurgen Klopp is doing to Daniel Sturridge? He's acting like that sort of guy who likes a girl. He doesn't really. You know, you don't want to date the girl, but you don't want to let the girl go either. You need to make up your mind. Make up your mind with the man. He's been in that space for far too long. I don't think it's right. And that's one of my favorite strikers. I mean, believe it or not, I think that a healthy Sturridge, a playing Sturridge, is practically better than a Harry Kane. You can count my head off if you want. I'm very serious. But will West Brom afford him the chance? Yes, they will. Will he be healthy? That's the question mark or the asterisk. But if he does, and he gets back to his scoring ways, Daniel Sturridge is a guy who functions on confidence. When he's confident, he can do practically anything on the football pitch out there. When that loan deal does end, I think he should ask Liverpool simply, give me an improved deal or let me go.
But the point is that, I mean, look at this critically. They've got Bobby Firmino. Coutinho is gone.
Bobby Firmino is not a proper striker.
Bobby Firmino is in there. There's Mo Salah. There's Sadio Man. It looks like now we are down to a Fab 3.
Yeah.
Really, a Fab 3 for Liverpool.
Yeah.
How does Danny Sturridge fit into this? Because here you've got very fluid attacking players who can interchange positions and can score. And Sturridge is leaning towards a pure number 9.
I think Sturridge is pretty flexible too. He doesn't mind really playing out wide. The problem now is that we should ask ourselves, what does Daniel Sturridge think he is in his own head now?
That's an important question.
He's been sitting on the bench for a long time. Does he still think that he is good enough to start for Liverpool? Or in his head, from what he has seen the other guys do, he's practically said that, well, from what I have seen, I'm probably suited to sitting on the bench and playing from the bench. So in his head, what is in his head is what will play out in reality. If he feels as if he is still good enough to be a starting caliber striker, I'm telling you that he'll be gone by the summer.
He will push for a move.
If he does stay at Liverpool with the excuse of I'm trying to fight for my place, or I'm trying to prove my point, then for me, I think that in his mind he will have taken a step down and probably said that, look, my body has suffered a lot of injuries. I'm not getting any younger. I might as well just play my role when I'm called upon and keep him moving.
We'll see. Danny Starr is subject of a lot of discussion there. He's gone to West Bromwich Albion on loan until the end of the season. Like Benjamin is saying, he won't need clarity on his future at Liverpool. I'm sure Jurgen Klopp will provide that though. Let me go through a few messages before we wrap it up. Dasibra Kwame Obeameyang says Sturridge should make his move permanent after the loan spell. Nicholas Dada Joe says Pep wants to win the league back to back, so the big teams will look sharp. Block this move. We United blocked Alexis' move. Over to you, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. Dasibra Kwame again says it's a cocoa season for Leicester. They should squeeze huge amounts of the oil money. Ganyobi Eriksson says Pep is preparing for next season and the season after that. We've already won this league. Conrad Bannerman says I can't agree with you more on the Mahrez situation. Mangala will be unwise to leave for Everton when he has the opportunity to win his only Premier League title. Everton are trying to get players in. It looks like Mangala may be going there. Islam Slimani may be going to Newcastle, but we'll see. Ben will be back later at 8 p.m.
I cannot wait. I'm going to polish the bill. I need to polish the bill.
8 p.m. is when we have Spurs versus Man United, and when that game ends, it's don't call me up until midnight. So we'll catch you then, Benjamin Nketsia. Join
We'll
me.
be selling your best players to your rivals.
That's what we'll be doing tonight. Trust us. By midnight, your best player will not be in your club anymore. If we say he's for sale, he's gone.
One of the best deadline day deals for me was Mesut Ozil from Real Madrid to Arsenal.
That was a stunner.
I nearly wept.
That was a stunner.
I was shocked. I could not believe that any
Real
team,
Madrid didn't put up any resistance. They just looked at the player and just waved them off.
I didn't believe that any team in their right minds would sell Mesut Ozil, a player of such quality.
Arsenal get to keep him for another 3 years.
Arsene Wenger is a wise man.
We'll discuss all of that later. So that's our preview show. Benjamin Nketsia joined me. Thank you very much for joining me as well. I loved all your comments. Keep them coming. At 10 p.m. join us right after Spurs versus Man United. Join us for Don't Call Me Special up until midnight. All kinds of surprises will be unleashed on the show. My name is Nathan Quao. It's been our Premier League preview show, the most special one. I wonder when we'll do 1 hour again. Maybe the day Paul Pogba scores a hat-trick.
Never then.
We'll see about that. It may happen this season, but that's our show, probably brought to you by Bestway Premium Bank, supported by Vodafone. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to the crew behind the camera, behind the mixers. Everybody, we'll catch you again next Wednesday. Take care, enjoy yourself, and tune in at 8 p.m. for Premier League and at 10 for Don't Call Me Special later tonight on City 97.3. Cheers.
Where did you Your signature. My name is Nathan Paul and bye-bye.
What was it with you?